Lo la le yo la na ye lo le no no yo le no na yo lo la le yo la na ye lo le no no yo le no na yo lo la na yo lo na le lo na yo lo la na yo lo na le lo na yo. Let me tell you something.
You're listening to QSJ, digging up the underground.
Let's get back to the mix.
Good morning, everybody. It's QSJ Radio. This is a special one today. We're introducing Gaeya, a voice of nature through music. Their vision as a songwriter and singer who blends ancient sounds, natural elements, and modern synth landscapes to create a sonic journey that reconnects listeners with the earth. Her music serves as a powerful reminder of the beauty and the fragile status of nature, encouraging reflection and inspiring positive change. Now, we could talk about how somebody has been doing music and they want to talk about the leaves and stuff, but in 2020, Awakening, the debut EP, praised for its fusion of organic and electronic sounds, her EP captivates listeners with its deep emotional resonance and thought-provoking messages. Not only that, Gaeya has the TP experience, right? An immerse live performance concept where audience gather around a living campfire, fostering an intimate connection between the music and nature. Is also host of the Tell Us podcast, engaging a global conversation about sustainability, ecological awareness, and alternative lifestyles, giving a platform to voices advocating for positive environment impact. Gaeya's artistry goes beyond melodies. Her music is a call to action that encourages people to embrace sustainability practices, rediscover their connection to the natural world through her earthy landscapes, compelling storytelling. She hopes to awaken. I mean, you guys get that, right? Awakening a collective consciousness and inspire a deeper respect for the planet. Gaeya. I mess up names all the time. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited, and there's a few reasons why I'm excited, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's been a very long time since I've been able to talk to someone who talks untechnological, understands that the technology is here, but understands where we really need to be. And it's very, very hard to find people, which I'm sure that you have found people, but it took a lot of digging around. You know, and I just want to know, like, I knew when I was a young boy, a long time ago. Don't get it fooled, okay? Water has done magic for me, okay? But it's a long time ago. I've always been kind of like wanting a green thumb, kind of get out there into nature, replant and things like that. But I've also come from the city. And I don't know where it started for you that you because there's a different there's a different vibe when you're in nature and staying with it, because sometimes people take it as a vacation, but I don't think this is a vacation for you. I think this is something that's every day for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You're catching it straight on there. Yeah, for me, nature or like being in nature is not really um just a peek in there or like a visit. It is an understanding that we are nature. So that's very much what I'm trying to communicate to, is that there is no separation between us and nature, because we are nature. And and for me, that relationship started very early. I'm brought up in Sweden, and I still live in Sweden, at least part time. And I think for many Swedes, the relationship with nature is very important. But then, of course, we have here too people living in cities, and it's harder to get out to more wild areas. But for me, it was I spent most of my summers up in the Arctic regions in Sweden, where I have my family, and out in the wilderness there, and it was yeah, really exploring that kind of connection. And for me, I'm usually saying that when I'm doing concerts and stuff, like if you ever experience the feeling of walking alone in the forest, a wild forest in the middle of the night, you I think most people would say that there is something there, something extra, that you're not alone. And of course you're not, because you're surrounded of
Yeah.
nature and
Yeah.
animals and stuff, but it is uh yeah, the
I
wilderness
have
is
not experienced walking in the woods by myself. Okay, I have not experienced that. I'm super scared. But I think that's also something that has happened. People
mm,
have disconnected themselves from what brought them to the city, right?
mm.
And we'll get into that here in a second. I want to touch on your music. Your music is people use beautiful all the time, but it's beautiful blends of nature sound. If you guys have just heard the chant, that was also a collaboration with Kurita from Great Britain, I believe. And but how do you draw inspiration from the natural world when creating your songs, and you have to do it almost in the digital world?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think many times the ideas of songs comes from the either like for from the one with coup d'etat and the chant song. That one is more connected to, the driven the electronical sounds that is in there has a kind of primal essence to it, even though it's in a digital package. But when I'm looking for a way to express myself with this kind of I call it the earth singing, but it's very close to any type of indigenous singing, and my connection to that, and especially in the chant, is to connect myself to a specific place in nature. And for the chant, I'm connecting myself with a very small creek in a very small, but it's a small creek close to where I live, and that feeling of that spirit in that area. So I'm trying to embody that kind of that energy or that frequency within the chanting. And sometimes it is through there that the inspiration comes from, where I'm trying to tune into nature, and it can be a tree, it can be a mountain, or even a specific person's journey, or so on. But then other songs where we have, yeah, that we might hear further down the line on this show,
Yeah.
are very, very much inspired by the human evolution and like all the processes that we go through at this point right now in history. And I think we always go through them in circles, but especially in times when a lot of outer impact is happening, a lot of inner exploration and growth is happening at the simultaneously. So that's something I'm trying to pick up and work on, especially in the EPs that I'm releasing. So
when you debuted with Awakening, I don't know how seamlessly it happened, but you were able to merge, as people had just heard right here, ancient elements with modern synthesis of what was the process of doing that? Because there is music out there that has been like that, but it's been basically commercialized or in pop culture. But sometimes it's almost as if it was like made fun of. But this is not the process you have. What was the creative process for creating this unique sound? And you mentioned just now that you would, be there while doing this, but I'm like, I can't touch a tree and talk to it, but I used to. And we'll get into that here in a few. But what was the creative process when you know that you want it to sound as if it came from the earth? Because
that's a really
I feel like that's where it came from. As soon as I heard your voice, I was like, that came from the soil. Like,
oh, thank you. Oh, that makes me so happy to
I'm
hear.
not even lying. Like, I was crying. I turned off. I was talking to some friends. I didn't want to talk to them no more. It was just like, I don't think they would. I hope they would experience this thing, but at this moment, I just didn't. I don't know how you were able to take all that and put it together.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Yeah, when especially like I also have to give credit to Anders Rein, who is the producer of Gaia. So we definitely do a lot of work together, and he's a big part of the instrumental parts and arrangements and everything. So it's definitely a combination of the two of us. But I think for when it comes to making melodies and lyrics and also delivering vocals, for me, it's very much about centering myself and in that connection with and this is something that we all have, and it goes back to the relationship that we are nature. We all have this kind of primal power inside of us, the connection inside, and it is rooted to this planet if we let it happen and if we want to explore that. And for me, it's always been the center point to deliver, to be a messenger for the planet. So I'm super happy and grateful that you
Let
you
me
felt
tell you,
it.
it was so instant. It wasn't even. I'm not even playing. Like, it was so instant. You've created a different type of performance, campfire, which is almost it's almost as is the cross between, right? People have put camping together as if they experienced the wildlife, right? But in reality, you're hiding from bears. Okay, like, you're hiding from bears, guy. You're not about this nature stuff, okay? But the concept of live performing as in a campfire kind of like it, this is where stories are made. I don't know what made you do that. I don't know. I don't know if you experienced it yourself, but I just want to go to a TP experience. I just want to.
Yeah.
I want to.
Please come to
I'm going.
Sweden and yeah, I fully get that, and it's really like the idea of it actually came about very naturally from the start. I've always wanted to give people more than just a regular performance, like go on stage and doing your song and then you go off stage. I always aim to give people an experience, and it should be an experience that moves emotionally, starts the thinking, the connection, uniting people to creating that vibe of unity and and belonging. Because I think that's something that is sometimes lacking in our world. That, I don't know. Like for many years, it's been focused on dividing people a bit, and but we rather have to come together and see that we don't always have to think the same, but we by joining our forces and with an open heart, trying to come together and find beautiful solutions for everyone. Now it's sidetracked, but yeah.
I mean, it's
But
not a
the
sidetrack. It's in your music. It's in your music. Whether people are listening for, it's not a flutter of the butterfly wings. Okay, there are some subliminals in your music, which is definitely something that people really have to understand. Well, you're not really like knocking someone's thought. You're allowed to think the way you want to. But in reality, like it's there's a lot of other things that are way more important, or it might seem not so important for someone who, I'm from the Bronx, New York, okay? The park only had 5 trees. Okay?
Yeah. But they are important 5 trees.
But yeah. I used to have names for them, but they had more than 5 trees. But the thing is now I'm surrounded by nature, but there was just something that this kind of thing, and I think this is where I'm trying to keep in touch personally with nature, is why are we living but we're surrounding ourselves with death, right? And this used to be a tree. This used to be some fossil, and we're surrounding it to protect us from the elements. And I heard that in a song where you did. It said something about breaking the ceiling, which denied us from. I forgot. I was just crying about it. Okay, hold on. All right, let me get back on track. All right, Gaeya is a visionary singer and songwriter who blends ancient sounds, natural elements, and modern synthesis landscapes to create sonic journey that reconnects listeners with Earth. I want to introduce a song here that really got to me. It was around the time Awakening was making his debut, and it's called Truth. Now, Truth was also, the reason I mentioned the timing, people, is because 2020 was is not affected by a country. It was 2020 was affected by the world, and I put myself in 2020 again, even though people are trying to put it in the back burner and trying to forget about it. But this song Truth is something that will, and I hope that it does for a lot of people, especially because for me, is like, you need to go back to what is. Let me just let the song do its thing, okay? This is am I saying it right, Gaeya?
Gaeya, yeah.
Gaeya. The song is called Truth on QSJRadio.com.
Vibrant moments when the night has gone linger behind while we're journey on. People in shadows, people in grace, longing for a future beyond all the fate. Lives have passed us and leaving their trace. People have lied and cheated through this race, but time kept moving on and we did the same, knowing our future lives outside the grave. And once I was calling for the future, now I'm calling for the truth.
there's a lot of things going on there. If you guys want to hear the song, I will drop the links definitely to the Spotify and definitely to any other places you guys listening to off of the Awakening EP, The Truth. Once we get into the chorus, there's a reminder of a humanism that we forgot. We once was looking for the future, and now I'm looking for the truth. And at the time, that is so much like the views that us as people have viewed each other in, or the disconnect of putting something in front of, I thought about it and I was like, I've never had someone argue to me about, hey, you forgot about photosynthesis. Like, I've never had somebody say that until I'm like hearing this song. And it's like, did you forget there's other things going on that we have been ignoring? And we can talk about it as it being nature, but in 2020, the truth was something everyone was looking for. What was the thing about this song here and the timing of it?
Yeah. Well, truth was very interesting. It came also as, 2020. I was to be honest, I waited for a moment when people were starting to get a chance for really both stopping and reevaluating. And I think that was what happened like 2020, 2021, that we started to get a shift in perspectives, but also we could see that how much could actually be done too, globally in very short time. If the efforts and if the real wantings from authorities are there. So I think that is also something that for many people at least started to get questions about what kind of society are we living in, and how connected we are on this whole planet. But also for many people, it was a very difficult time in many ways, and to encourage people also to try to find their own truth, because there is so much truths out there, and that's the beautiful thing. And I think that the thing that it allows, we should as human beings be allowed to think differently, and I think it is a resource, because when we have different thoughts and different angles, if we meet each other with an open heart and a way of showing compassion to each other too in that state, then we could really bring on the best of the best, and not being, oh, I know everything, like, or I have the right thing, and you don't know how it is, or like that shaming and blaming. And that was very much what happened during the pandemic. It was very much dividing people all over the world, and it was kind of scary to see how fast that can happen. And for me, it's not about whether you're on one side or the other side of what happened. It is really about lifting our consciousness and our views above that, and seeing how can we do this in a different way, and by exploring truth and and truth also too. In the song too, I'm questioning authorities too, and and that, I think when this song came out, it was maybe a bit too provocative. It didn't touch the media didn't want to take it at that time. But maybe now also we are in a different position. We have been exploring more ourselves, and there is a different climate in the world overall. So maybe we are more mature to take these thoughts into.
Just to remind you, 5 years later, okay? Where I'm from, they don't get it. Okay? Like where I'm from, they don't get it. They don't understand. It is a difficult time here, okay?
Yeah.
I just, a lot of my friends from other countries, more Europe type of countries, is like it's so bad being from where you're from right now, and it is, and feel bad, okay? Feel bad because I feel bad, and I'm not saying that because it's like against anything, right? There seems to be this turnaround that is more of this is leading us to separation of of a human nature or nature itself. It is more separation than I there the egos are something that I do not understand. I do not understand how high someone's ego is. Um because at the end you cannot bring any of this with you. You
Exactly.
cannot bring any of this with you. You will be remembered for probably 15 more years. And then you become part of Earth. And you got to start somewhere else. But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's just too much. People are stressing themselves out. Like, please, like this, and you're doing it too much. And it's just like, how do I tell my young human beings to be great human beings if leadership is telling them not to? It's just, and there's a lot of influence outside.
Definitely. I think also that when it comes to all this, as you say, separation that is occurring right now and just getting worse and worse, and both the separation inside, because I think that is really where, when the ego takes a route down a very destructive path, is usually when we are disconnected to ourselves and in our alignment to our higher purpose, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, every single person on this planet has an important role to play, and when the ego steers away of not being put into perspective of helping, I think that is very much like what I'm always trying to come back, or where I'm coming back to all the time, is when you have something that you feel you can bring to people or to society, whatever it is, that creates something positive, um, then your ego can be used in a way so that it works for you and for that goal for creation. But if you don't have that kind of goal or mission, and whatever it is, it can be big or small, it doesn't matter. Like, but just something to give with compassion and without expecting anything in return, then yeah, then we're getting away from that separation and we're connecting ourselves again, because we see that we have a place within the community and that we are important. And every single person has that, but it's just that we forget about it, and we are too occupied about everything that is selling to us through media and through society overall. So I think very much what I'm missing and what I want to see is the influence of bringing positivity and empowering people again, like following your
Wow.
dreams, like
Yeah.
following your dreams. If you get
Like
an
for real,
idea,
for real.
for
Like
real,
for
for
real,
real.
for real. Not following
Yeah.
someone else's, like
No, not what you think.
yours, like
Your
yours.
idea. Yeah, exactly.
Because
And
that's what happens is they go elsewhere. Sometimes is I feel like sometimes people's feelings get hurt and then they forget like but that brings me to something, because something like means so much to you as part of your work, and I don't even know how you balance it as an artist. um Sustainability. um you balance, I don't know how you balance the artist and then also an advocate for ecological consciousness, because it's like, hey, I got this single out, and did you plant your trees? Like, if that's like simple as you look at it, but it's not, it's bigger than that. How do you
mm,
balance both of that?
I think for me, as from we touched on it a bit before too, that I wanted to bring people an experience, and for me, the mission has always been there. Like my music and my voice is one tool that I have in my toolbox to communicate, and it's one of my strongest way of communication, to use communication, but it's not the only way. But the mission is the primal thing, the force that's driving me forward, the wanting to bring back balance to the planet, and also bring back compassion and hope. Because it doesn't matter, for me anyway, it doesn't matter from where you came from, what you've done in the past, or anything like that. Everyone goes through difficulties, and everyone um, takes roots and make mistakes and all these things. But if we want, like everything is happening right now, so that is also, and but with going back to Gaia and all the different things that I'm doing with it, is also like, for example, the TP tour that you mentioned. Uh, the TP tour came about that I wanted a space which brings us back to our roots. And here in Sweden, my family heritage is from the Sami people. And the Sami people, we have the Lavo, which is a teepee structure. It looks almost the same as the indigenous teepees from North America. And it's called the Lavo here. So it's a very sacred space, and bringing people back into that and exploring around the fire. So that's one thing. And the other ways of sound healing that I'm exploring and doing with people too, it's different, giving people different experiences, but with the same message. And I like to invite people from different angles, because I know that people will resonate with different things. So some people would feel more in resonance, maybe with a more spiritual connection to it, and some people more interested in getting a visual and musical experience. And so, but yeah, it's always about the message, bringing that, and I think that's where the balance comes from too, that we're
That's
trying
amazing.
at least to bring
That's
balance
amazing.
to
I mean, you're
it.
doing perfect. You're doing it like it's like it's like whatever. This is what I do. It's really
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean,
It's just
it's
it seems like, and not no pun intended, it just comes naturally. It just
it,
seems like it does. It's just there's no it might have been stressful, as if who's going to take this in, but I think the way that you're going is just you found your people. I'm telling you right now, you have brought me back to where I feel safe. It's just if I take all this away and realize things, I speak to every being. And when I say something like that to some friends that are either from the city or think differently, they think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny, because I'm really talking to them. I'm really sitting there and saying, look, guy, you either leave my living room or I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm telling this insect, right? But I'm really saying it, but I'm pushing him out the way. But anyways, I'm not too much of that. But I'm not one. You got to speak to so many people through the podcast. Tell us. I'm trying to figure this out, because I heard one today. I believe it was one of your fifth episodes. You were talking to a bird caller or bird one super famous guy in Sweden. It's like, and I really thought about it, and I said, "Oh my god!" But there was some conversations there. But anyways, tell us, what motivated you to create such a platform for conversations, not about only about sustainability, but there's a lot of people on there that have alternative lifestyles. They do not live the same on Earth like most people. I'm telling you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's Tell Us really came about because during the shows that we give, I usually talk quite a lot. or I have that's a part of our
Oh yeah, that's just why I do it.
performances, and
Yeah, I do the same.
so
I do the same.
yeah. So giving that space, and sometimes people came up like, oh, I want to talk more, I want to hear more, I want to have a discussion, I want to learn more about sustainable living, like how can I, make my own shampoo, or how can I live closer to nature, how can we live in a different kind of society, where can we have circular economy, or how, all these different things. And this has been a big interest from my side for the last 15, 20 years. I've been really exploring and eager to understand, and like shifting perspectives and seeing different ways, and just exploring different new places that we can be. And we don't have to necessarily do the same things as we've done for the past 2000 years. We can do things differently. And so the podcast came about with that, and bringing people in with specific interests and expertise to give them a space to talk. And it's really exciting. It's been also like we started off Tellus and took a break, and now it's coming in a 2.0 edition, which is really exciting.
Let's go.
And
I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Let's go.
Yeah, so you're really bringing in more, like deeper, like talking about specific technologies that are truly sustainable. Because I think many times, the word sustainability is also one of the words that have been the most greenwashed word in the world. And it's been used so many times in areas where I wouldn't say it's sustainable. And so what I want to do is really take back that power into that world and word. That's what sustainability really means, that finding solutions that are for the good for all generations to come, and for all different species, and for the planet overall, and ecosystems, like not only the organic ecosystems, but also economic ecosystems, and different developments of society. So giving that space to explore those things, and there is no, like, of course, no recipe for like, this is how we're going to do it. But I just want to bring forward those voices that usually don't get heard. And many times that is to do with industries and the private sector, also wanting to make money of their things.
Yes.
And it doesn't shine the light on these truly sustainable solutions that are out there, and that is not costing either environment or so much money either. It's something that people can do at home and in communities, and it brings also back the empowerment to individuals and to communities. So that's really what I want to do. And I think that, I mean, we probably need to face all these shitty things that is coming our way, but it's a force. Like, I see that there is in the world overall, we can say that things are black or white, but it's not. And it's always all different shades in between, all different colors in between, and it's that diversity that will bring forward interesting solutions. And under high pressure, which we are in right now, and we're probably going to go into even more higher pressure
for a little bit.
For a little bit more, yeah. But it is necessary, and it is beautiful, that process too, and realizing and knowing that we will come out on the other end with a totally different reality, which will be more in favor for everyone. And but it is a long way to, or it's a hard work to do that. But hopefully, along the way, we can help inspire with the tools that we have, at least, to plant some seeds, and hopefully that can grow by some people who feel interested, or even want to share their views and things. So
yeah,
it's yeah.
I was listening, and I'm at my most comfortable area. So it's something that um usually in my most comfortable area, I am taking care of me. I am Xing out the things that everyone has put up on me. Bills, it's not a real thing, but it's a real thing. Um, Eating, what's good for me, what's not good for me, and that's probably going to be something that's going to be talked about for more years. Something that I've noticed of some of your guests, and you probably hear it. I don't know if you go back and listen, but some of your guests say something about the reason I am the way I am is because I can't stand humans anymore. It is, I hear people say that all the time, and
Yeah.
they have called themselves introvert, extrovert, divergent, whatever bird, you know. But in reality, it's like you're probably just going against you. You have so many surroundings that are against your morals that you need to title yourself, because that's what humans have done. They have titled themselves to, I'm a brother, I'm an aunt, I'm an uncle, I'm a whatever. But if you could tell me something that you've learned in your first series of Tell Us, what would be something that had most impact conversation to let you know, like, yes, this has worked, this is going to work, this is why we got 2.0 coming out this year. So
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's really inspiring to meet people who are specialized in certain areas, and because for me, I'm very much about like the overall seeing. I like to dive in, but on a not on the surface level, but yeah, it's to have an overall look at it. But it's so beautiful to get to peek into someone else's world and how they view it. And as you said, with Andris, the bird whisperer, to go into his world is very special and very unique. And I think it is unique from wherever you are in the world, because a very few amount of people live uh, a year or 2 years out in the world, sleeping under a pine tree, like not going home, living from the food he finds in the forest, and living very close to wolves and nature overall. And I think that perspective also, like how we could actually, that doesn't mean that we all have to live that way in order to get in connection with nature, but it's just beautiful, like how we can explore the wilderness within us, and how that can take different rooms within us too. Like for some people, it is to go hardcore into really live in nature for 100%. And for other people, like I have Rebecca Lemoine, who's in the Swedish Parliament, who's also a beautiful human being, and someone who is coming from a perspective of really preserving biodiversity, and as an activist, she started out as an activist and also bioscientist, and or for biodiversity. Sorry, I don't have the English word for everything. But yeah, and then realized that she it didn't happen anything, so she felt like, okay, I have to go into politics to start to pressure in there.
wow.
And just her journey of her dedication and bravery, like she's really going into the nest of where her view of things is not 100% accepted, and
Yeah.
especially not in certain areas. But yeah, being a wild card in a way, she's been there for many years, like being that driving force. And I think she has had a huge influence on the whole parliament, even though the Swedish government right now is like going in the opposite direction. But but it is just an opposition that is very, very strong, and it's inspiring to see just people taking action in different ways where they feel pulled to. So and I mean, for the coming series too, we will talk about, you know, heavy subjects like blood minerals and other things, and I think it is to both touch base on those things that we don't really want to see. We have to acknowledge them. We have to see them first. But we also, when we know that, we also have to focus on what do we want to see in life.
Yes.
What do we want to strive for?
Yes.
In order to be creative. Because if we're only focusing on the things that we don't want in life, then it stops us there. So that is the whole purpose of everything I do with Gaia, but especially also with Tell Us is to bring that perspective of what do we want to see in life and inspire that. And that will be different for everyone, of course. But I think if we're lifting our perspective, if we're really trying, each and one of us, to look into what do I want, but what kind of effect will that have on my surroundings, and not on like, oh, I will make my father disappointed if I don't become a lawyer or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's also part, like stepping into your power by following your dreams will also let that father, for example, have to face the things that is maybe not in his highest favor anymore, his expectation, and he has to work. So it's just so beneficial and so beautiful for everyone once we're starting to strive for the goals that we deeply feel excited about. And
yeah. If you guys
sorry, I'm just talking.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And I've also realized that on your end that my camera has gone poof.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry about that.
I see a very beautiful picture.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I wasn't around nature though. But I was.
Yeah.
There's this tour that you had in the United States. It basically a year ago where it was started, and you had also the privilege of presenting one of Tom Strum's classic songs. I want to say it again. Yes. Vintasaga. Vintasaga, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And you brought it to the States. You got to go to Washington, which is one of our beautiful states over there. And Los Angeles, which is one of our crowded areas over there. What was that experience of spending spring in the United States? Because I just think about the grass.
Yeah. It was beautiful. I'm really grateful for that tour. And I spent some time in the US before, but
okay.
And it's been beautiful all the time, but this time was very special because we got to see so many states along the way. After California, we continued to Arizona and then to Colorado and Utah, and so we got to see so many places on the way and got to meet so many beautiful people. I think when thinking about Washington, it was so interesting because it was so much similarities with Sweden.
Wow.
So when we came there, we're like, oh, we're home. It looks the same.
Wow.
Except from, of course, the Olympic Park. It's much more humid than here. And so it was beautiful to see that.
Yeah, that humidity. We call it disrespectful here.
Yeah.
Big shout out to everybody listening in. We have Gaeya here. We're talking about some things that came up in spring, but one thing that I wanted to touch that you were mentioning, which is your music has carried on all the way to the support of the Swedish embassy, all the way to the support of politicians in your country. Your music has gotten to, for those who need more of an emphasis, the Swedish company Malmstam, It's a Swedish company, is the official world aqueduct supplier, formerly known as FINA, which was FINA, since 2009. But let me just tell you, that is a serious impact that your music has been making, where it is where it needs to be. It's not making, you know how people go viral and they just they're in everywhere. Everybody's something, and then somebody's music goes viral and it ends up in the wrong hands, and then they have something wrong to say about it, right? It's just, your music has been literally where it needs to be, and now I know we're going beyond it now, because you have the support where you need from your area, and now we're going bigger. This next opportunity, what I want to do here is I want to make sure people understand how serious this Winter Saga authorized, if people need to understand authorized, some people make covers and then they post it on YouTube, things like that, but an authorized version of this song, this is almost as if it's like it's almost one of Sweden's known songs, like a national anthem type of thing. This is not something that you could just take a guitar and post it on YouTube. This is something that, you can get in trouble for. But the authorization, not only the authorization, but why Vinta Saga? And what does Vinta Saga means? And I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah. You say it definitely right. Winter Saga is the Swedish. Yeah, I mean, that's very beautiful opportunity that we got. Winter Saga is usually a song written by Ted Ström, which is one of our legends in Sweden. He had this song became so big, and not actually it has a story to it, because many people have done covers. Like, it feels like almost every Swedish artist have made a
Like
cover of this song.
you're not a
The
singer
Swedish
unless you do
version.
this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it and Monica Törnell was the one that made it really famous in Sweden, and then Ted released it afterwards. But he sort of gave the song the first time to her to do it in Swedish, and from then it's just been so many different versions. And I mean, Volvo used it for their commercials with Amanda Bergman. It's a beautiful cover of that, and I've just been performing it so many times in Sweden that for me, it really came so close, because what it inherited is really the mystical and the, how do you say it? Like, we have a word in Sweden called vemod, and it's
Hold on, let me write that
it is,
down. Let me write
yeah,
that down. Okay.
vemod, but
Vidimon. There you go.
it's not depressing, but it is like that kind of depression that we come into during winter time, because most of the, like, from October until now, it is dark. It's cold, it's raw, it's dark, and it's kind of heavy times, and especially like the first 4 months of the winter, autumn, winter, when it's really like all sunshine, like it just drops, and during December, like up north, you don't even see the sun at all for a few weeks or a month,
Wow.
and
Wow.
that creates a space for going inside and exploring. And
No wonder management is in Arizona. No,
yeah.
no. Let's get serious.
He gives me some sunshine,
Like,
and it's very
what?
well needed.
Well,
That's how I balance things,
yeah. Oh my God, that's great. We're
So-
gonna go ahead
so-
and introduce it real quick, and then we'll go into a few more questions. I know you got things to do. Okay, here is Gaeya with Vinta Saga. This is with Anders Rain. Is that how you say it? Anders
Yes.
Rain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ett träningspass på Ullevi i Dys.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. No, don't worry. Oh. Yeah, I can talk a bit also why we have it in English, but I was talking so much I forgot to get to that end. Yeah.
Tradare i snörök mellan Kiruna och fjärran, flämtande ljus i Visby hamn. Det är då som det stora vemodet rullar in, och från havet blåser en isande gråkall vind. I Malmö rispas dimman av färjornas sirener. På andra sidan sundet börjar världen. Ensam Volvo sliter i motvinden på Tjörnbron. Bion i Pajala ger den sista
Vinta Saga, your version, I played the Swedish version. I understand that there's an English version out, and it's for those who don't want to Google, but what made, because I think there was a reason you created the English version, right?
Yeah, it was very, like I said before, this song has been made many times, or a lot of times in Sweden by different artists and musicians, but we just felt like it's so strong a song, and we want to bring it to an international audience. And so we actually reached out with our Swedish version to Ted Ström and asked him, would we do an English rendition of this song? Would that be okay? And he came back to us and he said, you're not the first ones who've asked this, and there's been many bands and artists wanting to do this, and we have also made we've started with the lyrics for the English version, but we haven't found the right people to do it. And we sent him our version, and we got a very beautiful email back. We love this version. It is yours to make the first English version of this one. So that was really huge.
That must have made you cry. There's no way.
It did.
There's just no way. What?
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Is this AI? Like,
Yeah.
Oh my!
It was really beautiful because it's so much in the folk soul. Like in Sweden, it is. When we played out, like everyone knows it. It's and it's also many people's favorite song. So for that reason, it was beautiful, and the beautiful way of like collaborating with them on this. On both, it was with Ted Ström and Albin Ström, his son, and me and Anders doing this together. It was just beautiful to see how this rendition also captures so much of the soul from the Swedish version, because the Swedish version you're traveling through Sweden, you're visiting different cities and towns all over Sweden, and it takes you on a journey to experience that just everyday life all over the country. And it was kind of hard to think, okay, how to translate this into English and not keeping the cities at first, like thinking, okay, maybe we should bring in all the big capitals in the world and make that kind of thing. But then it wouldn't express the same thing as we have here in the north. So I think they especially have done a beautiful job to just capturing the soul of the song, and so that you can get a feeling of how it is to live in Sweden, in different places in Sweden during the winter times when it's gray and dark and really cold and slush in some places and really big snowstorms in others. So it's.
I miss the snow. I'm not in the. Well, I don't know. I don't get the snow like you guys get the snow. You guys get snow. Like
Yeah, we
some
used to, at least. Yeah, nowadays it's not. Yeah, it's changing. But yeah, we used to get big amounts of snow, and now even up in the mountains, it's very strange weather sometimes.
and
But
you've
yeah,
we really didn't we did talk about it. We understand that the culture in Sweden is more involved with the surroundings than here in our place. I'll call it our place. We call the woods a vacation. We covered that earlier. And you guys are just living in it, not specifically because there are some, towns and villages and things like that. Um, I'm trying to figure out how living there all the time do you deal with 17 to 19 hours of sunlight at one time and then reverse that once the seasons change? Because I just right now, for the first time in a long time, I looked outside last night, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I can still see a little bit of and I got to shut the window because I have children that says I don't want to go to sleep. It's still day outside, and that's just no. You're going to bed, okay?
yeah.
It's but but how do you do that, and how do you adjust? Because as someone here who I don't know if it's fortunate or unforgiving, deals with a specific amount of day and night time.
Yeah, I think everyone that lives above, or like, I think where we're located in south of Sweden, it's not as
Not as intensive. Yeah.
extreme. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
But in our where we have our summer house and where my family is from, it's really like summertime. The sun never sets, and it is. I just love that time of the year, but I know that not everyone does it. But
I'm
I
tired.
just think it's so gorgeous with the, being up at 2 o'clock in the morning and the sun is still up, and
That
it's
is
like having that kind
ridiculous.
of, and you don't want to go to sleep because it's so beautiful. And I think, and then reverse that in the other time of the year when the sun never goes up. But then of course up there you have the northern lights and those things. So you have a different kind of lights, which is beautiful. I think for us, I mean, I live more south right now and closer to Gothenburg in the west coast, and here we don't get those big contrasts, even though it's happening here too. We definitely notice big differences between winter and summer, but we don't get like the same big auroric light. For example, we just had 2 days ago aurora lights here, but they are not seen with the same power that they
Yeah.
are up north. So, but yeah, I know it's very difficult for people, and of course you get much more tired in the winter time, and in the summertime it's you get so much more energy. But but yeah, and I wanted to touch base on your start of your question, like what you mentioned with being in nature and how Swedish people are very much like that. That is part of the culture, and I think one part of it is also like how society have structured it, and something that is very unique for Sweden is allemansrätten, which is all men's right to be anywhere in nature. So
Hold
you
on.
can
I
go
gotta
on.
write it down. I gotta write it down.
Yeah. And this is something I think should be everywhere in the world, but actually it's threatened. That law is threatened in Sweden too right now. But I think we are the only country in the world that has this all men's or yeah, all men's law rights. Sorry, so you can be anywhere in nature. I mean, you should probably not go up to someone's very private property on the backside of their house and put up your tent there, but you can put it up on private land. You're allowed to, and you're allowed to go on to any um any like a camp. You don't have to go to specific campgrounds. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. You
So
can
you
go
can just
anywhere
go
in
anywhere.
nature.
So
Yeah,
here, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So I seriously, we cannot just grab a tent and go somewhere here in the States. we can't do it anywhere. And then when we can, we got to get a license for it. You gotta go through this, that. I'm like, come on, man. I'm just trying to hear. I'm just trying to like, man, like,
Yeah.
all right, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to my apartment and just deal with these four walls, and then watch National Geographic and have them assume what these animals are saying, because that's what we do as humans. We just put into their own perspective. But anyways, that's really great. That's really cool. And I think I saw somebody here in our in our guest here say Sweden is in their bucket list. They just want to go. You know, I have a family member, a very special person in my life. My partner, my wife, went to Sweden 2 years ago. And you know what? Why was I calling her at 11 o'clock p.m. and it was still sun outside? I don't understand. She loved it. She loved it. It's something that I think that she needed to experience, because it again, this is someone who I know personally that was not in touch with the planet. Everything was work, work, work. And I just sit here and I'm thinking, like, what are we working for? You know, like, what are we doing? I say this all the time. I think one of the best things that I've done, I don't know if you've done it, I don't know if anyone listening has done it, is I've X'd out or just crossed out that money is real, because it's not. You know, it's just a thing to make. It's just imaginary. It is this. It's not real, people. And I've done that because it brings me. Not that I know that there's certain things that money is needed. I get it. That's part of that. But in reality, if I don't, it's not real, and it's not my feelings. It's not it's not my consciousness. I can't. And I feel bad when people are just like, I don't have enough money to do this. And I'm like, yes, you do. You got enough money. Go do it. And or just go to Sweden and get a tent and just, you know,
explore. Yeah, I think I am 100% with you, and I think the whole concept of money, it's been creating a cage for many people, and money is just an energy, or like something made up to keep people into a system, actually. And it's
that
a
sounds like
system that
another
doesn't.
conversation, but we'll have that another time.
But yeah, I think we can definitely, I mean, by empowering ourselves and going more and more for following our feeling, like our goals and what feels good, I think we in the future can create something far more better than the money system that we have today. But yeah, of course, that is almost dangerous to say right now, because it's so much encapsulated into everything. But yeah, we are human beings. We live on a planet that is actually, if we were to help it thrive, it would thrive, because it's giving us everything we need every day. And we are the only ones stopping it from doing that, and by trying to control it. And same with having people into this money system is the same thing, trying to control something that could be free.
I've heard you say this a lot of times, many of your podcasts and things like that. And it brought me into a conversation that I know that finally I can have this conversation without getting laughed at. Okay? And this is one of these things. We are the only beings that are living unnaturally here. We are taking things making it into our own. Now we understand. I understand that birds, they make nests, and certain animals, they do that, but most of the time they're not taking something from living. Nothing that's living. Beavers, I understand that they do a bunch of stuff like that. I get it. But and anything like that.
Mm.
One of the things is I was my son is in the system. We'll call it the system, right? He believes that there's only one way to live, and is to get a bunch of papers that says that you know how to create essays, and he's stuck in the school system. He wants to be known for his knowledge, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so take all that knowledge in and tell me what it is you're trying to get out of it. What are you trying to put back into the world? Because all you're getting is absorption. You're not really letting anything back out. But anyways, so we are going on this college tour. And here in the States, and I'm sure they do it there too, you want to pick the university that you want to go to, and they have to have something of interest that is for you. I'm trying to figure out this kid out. He's in love with somebody at the same time. So he's really not talking to me about school. He's trying to figure out if this is going to work out on a long distance relationship. I'm like, oh my. So we go into this area in the North American East Coast. Now, let me tell you, I am mentioning it like this. I usually would say like the state and region, but I'm literally saying it exactly how it is. We are on the North American Atlantic East Coast. Okay. We'll just call it that, because that's Earth. Okay. Not Virginia. Okay. Well, we're in Virginia. So shout out to Virginia. But anyways, we're going a little bit inland towards the mountains, and something just made me stop. And it was the amount of forest that was taken away. We go into somewhere that I know, and in my head, I'm seeing a bunch of logs put together on a truck, and it's miles and miles of this stuff, miles and miles, and I just start crying, and I'm like, I look at him, and I say, so what do you see? Because I want to know where his mind state is. I can't think for him. And he says, I see the mountains. And I'm like, no, what you see is the only way humans believe they should live is by destroying everything around them. So they took all this environment, and all they're going to do is place a Walmart there. I don't even know if that's the accurate, and they might be homes. It might be something else. It might be something bigger than I'm thinking. But at the end of the day, the millions of beings that have lost over 15 people probably. And I'm just like, oh my, like, I don't think people really understand that, because they're so involved on what is not that. The people that are separation, we talk about it, but I really, people got to understand this. How are you, when somebody says Mother Nature, it is not a joke.
No.
This is someone that has been giving you everything. And your dad didn't do this. I'm a bad dad. I did not give these dudes photosynthesis. And I'm not even playing. Like, this is serious. I should have changed the way that I've seen this. But I get it. I get it. Humans have a different lifestyle. If you're not brought up in a certain way, you got to educate yourself. You have to find the people that are doing this kind of thing. You have to, I don't know. It's just a lot to let out. And I just want you to know that as soon as I heard just one of your songs, it brought me right back to where I feel most comfortable talking I feel most comfortable where people, I don't care about the new trend. I don't care about, how much popularity is out there. I get mad when the kids are like not understanding, like, that dog has a soul. That dog that we have has feelings. So if you're not going to sit there and play with it, it's going to go and die in depression. It's just going to do that. And it's just, even with the pets, even with the things in the background, I named half of my plants, and it's not to see, anyways, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I want to, us humans, we say something like, I want to give you your flowers. No, I want to, I want to thank you for bringing me back to a place where I literally was trying to erase. You came across me at a time where my logo was orange. My logo was green. And it was green because when I was young, I used to talk to the trees. I used to hand clap with the shrubs. I used to sit there with my boy Oak Leaf and Maple. What up, Maple? I miss you. And now if the opposite of green is orange, and I'm sitting here like, wait, what? What am I doing here? This is not where I'm supposed to be. And I thought about it while I was talking to you. How am I going to bring this up? Will I get a chance to tell Gaeya that thank you? Thank you for this. I'm sure that bro, like I'm telling you, like, and I don't think a lot of people get it. You remember this pop song? It was called "Return to Innocence."
Oh yeah.
And it goes, oh yeah, yeah, oh. This is like the closest to that I've been, and I didn't realize what that song was doing for me. And then I'm hearing you, and I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. We are returning to innocence. I don't know. Do you know that you're even doing this to people? Like,
It's just, it just makes me so happy and humble to hear you speak, and that the message, or anything that we're sharing, that it's coming across what we want to share. And it is, I'm with you in all these reflections, and we see it all over the world, like the same devastation I've seen here in Sweden is going on now too. We don't have any natural forest left here in Sweden, even though they have a tendency to say the Swedish is so rich on forests, but we don't have any real forests left. It's just pines, most of it, and it's just a devastation. It's so painful, but it is. I think that the only way to come back from, because I get it, like, I understand how people can just see things as resources if you're locked into that mentality, but it is to connect with the heart. So not separating the mind and the heart, but really connecting them. And once you get that connection, and it can be as easily as maybe getting emotional response from listening to music, or to experience something, or someone talking, or just being with someone who really cares, and who has that connection already, and being in their space, and being open to see things from their perspective, or just like peeking into that door, it can open up a totally new universe. And I think that's where the power lies, in the human mind also, that we can decide where we want to live, like in what perspective of time and perspective of our reality that we want to live. and we can choose to live in more compassion and wanting to see all the life as it is, life forms, everything that I usually say, like, water, it flows in every one of us. It's in every living thing on this planet. And it is what's combining us, and water is life. And water, we can heal water, and by healing the water, we will heal life too. But it's not only that, water is everywhere. It's in the air. We're breathing, and water is in all plants. It is even in stones and minerals. Like everything that is, on this planet is together, and we can see, oh, but a mountain is dead or whatever. No, it's not dead. I mean,
No,
this rock have been forming over time. It's alive. It's growing, and it's changing form. And so wanting to see that, like everything that expanding and growing, whether it is the universe or if it's like a flower in your garden or whatever, it is life. And that life force bears a consciousness just by wanting to evolve all the time. And we don't have to make it so difficult for ourselves, and wanting to put everything into boxes of this is this and this is that. It's just wanting to explore and opening up the door for the natural to occur, and just observe things as they are, instead of ending up here in our heads of trying to control things.
If you guys are just tuning in, we're almost coming to the end here. And I don't want to stop talking to you. I'm telling you right now, I don't.
It was beautiful talking to you.
The amazing Gaeya is talking to us, and we're talking, and it might seem a little bit, kind of soft and kind of almost a little bit of a storytelling. A lot of people in here in my culture will call it tree hugging, but in reality, it's not tree hugging. I was in the U.S. Navy for a long time, and we stood in the water for a very long time. And even though it is super beautiful in the ocean, as soon as I saw a tree, I hugged it. I stood in the water 300 something days, and I ran to a tree. I hugged it. I think I got an old photo of me doing that. It is because there is a thing that and I can't swim, so I'm not going down there to see the ocean's trees. I'm going to see what is natural for me. And I do appreciate this conversation. And I know last year you were in the States. Are there plans? What's going on with you? What's coming up in 2025? I know you just released a song, and I know that's going to keep on coming. What's going on in 2025? Am I going to Sweden, or are you coming to the States? Like, which one? And let me know so I can get this money together and head to somewhere.
You're always welcome to Sweden, but I do come to US again. I'm coming to Denver, so I'll be back in Colorado in end of this April. So
whoa, this April? Yo, I'm going to Denver.
Yeah.
We're going to Denver. We're going to Denver.
And on the 3rd,
I gotta run this by.
I'm doing two concerts in Denver.
Oh, nice.
So 2 weekends, and the first weekend is going to be with the Lamotte University of Music.
Wow.
And the second one is going to be a candlelight show.
A candlelight show. Oh,
yeah.
no.
So both of them. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm coming to US, and we're also releasing a new EP, and this EP is called Growth. So yeah, so it's the second part of a theology that is coming out, and so yeah, those songs will start to pop up soon, and we're also doing some really interesting and big stuff in US for the coming year. It's not happening 2025, but looking ahead for 2026. And we're putting up in Sweden. We've been doing the Gaia festivals. We are nature festivals, and some interesting things are moving over to US. So that we can say, stay tuned for that. And it's definitely to bring people together for creating something unique and powerful in really coming together and for a higher purpose of the future.
This is gonna be amazing. Let's go.
I
don't think they think I'm playing, but I'm going to Denver. They think I'm playing. I'm telling you, I'm out.
Oh,
we out.
Oh, I can't wait to
It's
meet you.
out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing. So I know that we talked about a lot of what technology has done for the human being in their separation of nature, but there is a technology that keeps us connected, which is social media. On social media, and we're not going to talk about it because it's so bad right now. I don't even know what my cousin's doing anymore. I just know what's wrong with the world. Like I don't even know what happened. I think they had a baby and then somebody canceled something. I don't know. It's a weird place now. But on social media, where are you mostly active? If people wanted to reach you and of course, do anything with you and talk to you and where are you mostly on?
I would say Instagram is usually where I post most, and YouTube will come up more too in the future. But also, like, please sign up for the newsletter. I have
Yes.
my website, GaiaMusic.com. And that there is a direct link, and you're always welcome to write me on either email, like through the website, or social media, and getting in contact. I love to hear from anyone. So it's this is the whole journey is really to come together, and we all bring our how do you say that? I can't. No, I'm trying to say a Swedish saying, but
go ahead. I'll look it up.
Translated.
I'll look it up.
Bring our sticks to the everyone.
Oh, is that a Viking language right there?
maybe.
Yeah, we definitely want to bring it together. So Instagram mostly, but please everybody, GaiaMusic.com. I've been on there. Everything is on there if you want to have a centralized place. You don't really have to go to social media for it. And yes, the newsletter is probably the best way because it's cool to have the follows. I get it. But it's cool when it's more personalized. It's to you, the information that you want from that artist, and I would get it. I'm getting on the newsletter. I was debating, because newsletters, and my spam is crazy, so I don't want to, get lost. But
but definitely Instagram. I mean, on Facebook too. There's reposting and also, in this modern world, like it's always helpful with building the community on those platforms. But I want to be connected to you guys. So in whatever medium that is, but I'll be there.
Yeah, there is music videos, so you guys can go ahead and watch the music videos on YouTube. It's not like we're just got songs and then that's it. We do have visual art that Gaia's put together with so many people. It is just incredible. And one of the things that I'm grateful for, not only this conversation, is to know that you have such a supportive group. Because one of the things that we do in our little podcast is we try to tell the unsigned artists, like, you can't do this by yourself. You got to find people. You got to find people that are supporting and don't have ulterior motives, that are seeing your vision as if it was their own, And, it's great to know that you have such a supportive group, and not only just in the industry of the music part, the people that can make legislation, the people that can change the world. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I know your first name. I don't want to say your first name, but I was going to call you by your first name and say, hey, do you know that you're doing all this? This is amazing stuff. Like, this is really cool. And I'm really happy for you. I can't wait for the amazing stuff. I can't wait to get to Denver. I'm not playing, people. I'm telling you right now. I'm making arrangements right now. Okay, we're going to Denver. We're going to Denver. And thank you for your team for reaching out to me. This has been not only good for our audience, but it's been really helpful for me and my like I needed to find at least like what I feel are my people, and I thank you for that.
Wow, thank you. It's been so beautiful to meet you, to spend time on your podcast, on your show. And I'm super grateful too that band from our team reached out and got this conversation going. It's been an honor to be on your show, and so inspiring also to talk to someone who shares a lot of the values. And I think we just have to continue the conversation with people, and being open for everyone's different perspective on it, of course, so that but with a focus on doing good for everyone. I think, it's really, this conversation has really giving a lot of hope and inspiration, and happiness for me, at least.
Remember, you started it. I didn't start this, okay? You started it. If you guys are just tuning in, sorry, it's too late. You're going to have to figure out this stuff on the podcast. It's going to be available all over the place. You can find Gaeya music all over the place. And go to GaeyaMusic.com. I'll make sure everybody got the links and things like that. Thank you so much for coming here and dealing with us. I'm telling you. And I'm going to outro with, I'm going to try to say this right, Urolia. Urolia?
Oh, Aurora, Oriora. No, I'm sorry, I couldn't say it.
Yo, you good. You good. I love it. I love it that it came out like that.
Oriola is the and it's sort of the another word for a halo or auroric.
We're gonna outro with that. We can end our call, and you guys have a great day, okay? And
Thank
management, if you got any questions, you got my email, okay? We'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Brightness when moonshine touches my skin, counting the planets.